Welcome to our channel. In this video, you will uncover one of the most mysterious creations in human history, vast drawings etched into the earth by people who lived more than 1,500 years ago. You'll find out how they built them, why they might have done it, and how these strange figures have survived for centuries, untouched by time. By the end, you'll be able to decide for yourself. Were the Nazca Lines messages to the gods or evidence of a lost science? So let's dive in. Across the barren plains of southern Peru, the earth is marked by hundreds of strange lines, some straight, some spiraling, some forming animals so huge they can only be seen from the sky. They stretch for miles, crossing the dry desert plateau near the small town of Nazca, about 400 kilometers south of Lima. For centuries, no one knew they were even there. Then, in the 1920s, as small planes began flying over the region, pilots were astonished to see shapes taking form beneath them: a spider, a hummingbird, a monkey with a spiral tail. And from that moment, the mystery of the Nazca Lines began. In 1939, American archaeologist Paul Kosak studied the lines from above. During the winter solstice, he watched the sun set directly along one of the longest lines and realized something extraordinary. These were not random drawings. He called the Nazca Desert the world's largest astronomy book. A few years later, a German mathematician named Maria Reich arrived in Nazca. She was so captivated that she spent the rest of her life mapping, measuring, and protecting the lines, often alone, under the burning desert sun. Maria believed the lines were a vast astronomical calendar, helping the Nazca people track seasons, solstices, and the movements of stars. Her devotion earned her the nickname, the Lady of the Lines. The creators of these massive artworks were the Nazca civilization, a culture that thrived between 200 BCE and 600 CE, long before the rise of the Inca Empire. They lived in one of the driest regions on Earth, where rain almost never falls, and yet they built an intricate society that produced fine pottery, textiles, and underground aqueducts that still function today. To create the lines, the Nazca people removed the dark, reddish pebbles covering the desert surface, revealing the lighter sand beneath. This simple method created bright, permanent lines that contrast with the surrounding soil, and because of the region's stable, dry climate, the figures have remained virtually untouched for more than 1,500 years. No advanced tools, no machinery, only human planning, patience, and mathematical precision. When seen from above, the Nazca Lines come to life. A hummingbird stretching 93 meters across the desert. A spider delicately drawn with perfect symmetry, 45 meters long. A monkey, its tail coiling like a spiral galaxy. And the condor, wings spread in eternal flight. There are more than 800 straight lines, 300 geometric shapes, and 70 animal and plant figures carved into the earth. And then, there's the strangest of them all, a humanoid figure on a hillside, with large eyes and an outstretched hand. Locals call it El Astronauto, the astronaut. But what could have inspired people without flight, metal tools, or modern mapping to create such vast figures that can only be seen from above? Over the decades, scientists, historians, and dreamers have tried to answer that question. Some believe the lines were astronomical guides, aligned with stars and solstices, helping farmers predict planting seasons in an unforgiving climate. Others think they were sacred pathways, where priests walked in ceremonial processions to honor gods of water and fertility, divine forces that governed life and death in the desert. Archaeologists have even found small altars and offerings near some of the geoglyphs, hints that the lines may have been part of religious rituals. But there are also more mysterious theories. In the 1960s, Swiss author Erich von Däniken popularized a bold idea that the Nazca Lines were landing strips for extraterrestrial visitors. His theory captivated millions, suggesting that ancient civilizations had contact with alien beings who inspired their art and architecture. While archaeologists dismiss this as pseudoscience, the idea refuses to die. Because when you look at the Nazca Desert from above, at the sheer size, the precision, the patterns that seem to stretch endlessly, you can't help but wonder, who are they really talking to? The survival of the Nazca Lines is a miracle of nature itself. The desert's extreme dryness, lack of wind, and steady temperature have preserved them like a natural time capsule. There's no rain to wash them away, no storms to blur their edges. For over 1,000 years, they've remained exactly as their makers left them, as if frozen in time. But this fragile perfection is under threat. Modern construction, illegal mining, and even careless tourists have damaged parts of the site. In 1994, UNESCO declared the Nazca Lines a World Heritage Site, recognizing them as one of humanity's greatest achievements and one of its greatest mysteries. Today, technology is breathing new life into Nazca research. Using drones, satellites, and LiDAR scanning, scientists have discovered over 140 new figures hidden beneath the sand for centuries. Some are smaller, older, and may represent earlier phases of Nazca art, giving us fresh insight into their cultural evolution. Each discovery brings us closer to understanding these ancient artists. Yet the ultimate question remains unanswered. Why did they do it? Maybe the Nazca Lines were prayers, written on the ground and sent to the sky. Maybe they were maps of the heavens, meant to guide both gods and men. Or maybe they were a message, not to us, but to time itself, to remind future generations that long before cities, planes, or satellites, humanity already looked upward, already dreamed beyond the horizon. The Nazca Lines are more than art. They are a whisper from the ancient world, a silent conversation between earth and sky. Perhaps one day, we'll finally understand what they were trying to say. Until then, their mystery endures, waiting for the next curious mind to listen. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more documentaries that reveal the lost chapters of our history. And tell us in the comments, what do you think the Nazca Lines were meant for? A calendar? A temple? Or a message to the stars?